Now, I did have to force her to call him because I was just tired of them always accusing me of holding her against her will from calling him or whatever they were saying. So I would make her call him. But it got to the point where she had to go to behavioral health.
If you are going to make allegations against some doctor, then that person will need to be here to tell me what those allegations are.
And it's in the interest of Laje, Ashlyn May Munford.
Would you please state your name?
Susan Duhan.
And we are here today to talk about your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is Laje?
She's 14.
Does she live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you live in Jefferson County?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is her father?
Brandon Munford.
And did you and Mr. Munford do DNA testing back when in 2011, back when Laje was about a year old?
Yes, ma'am. The first time I applied for child support.
Your Honor, at this time, I would offer the DNA test results as Exhibit A.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence. Based on the admission into evidence in State's Exhibit A, the court's going to find that DNA testing was completed in regards to this child some time ago. And those test results show that Mr. Munford is the biological, and I'm going to now name him as the legal father of Laje.
How did you end up in Texas?
Well, let's see. When I was pregnant, me and Mr. Munford moved up to Ohio. And
Where did you move from?
From Texas, Killeen, Texas.
So was Laje, was she conceived in Texas?
Yes, and then we moved to Ohio, and then I went back to Texas to deliver because me and him had broke up because he did some criminal activities, and I wasn't okay with it. So me and him split up, and I asked him to drive me back to Texas, and he did.
When was the last time that Laje has seen her father?
2015, the last time he attacked me.
Okay, and you say he attacked you. Did you file criminal charges?
I did.
And where were you when you filed the criminal charges?
Either at the house or at the police station in Pickle, Ohio.
So that was in Ohio that you filed charges?
Yes, ma'am.
And
where the incidents occurred, I'm sorry.
Is that the only time you filed criminal charges?
No, ma'am. There's been multiple. There's been in Killeen, Texas, Daytona Beach, Florida, Dark County, Ohio, which was in Bradford, which I did send you that police report as well as Miami County. I can still get the ones from Killeen, Texas and Daytona Beach if you need them.
Are you afraid of Mr. Munford?
Absolutely.
How are you going to establish something in regards to a non-disclosure, Ms. Brown-Zito, if there's been no contact in 7 or 8 years?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
That's okay, Ms. Duhan. Me and the state of Texas are about to get into a big argument about the law in the state of Texas, and we've had this discussion multiple times. Do you have any proof, Ms. Brown-Zito, of any family or domestic violence as it's defined by the Texas Family Code in the last 24 months?
I was trying to go through and see what we did have, Your Honor.
Well, Ms.
He
Duhan
hasn't presented it as
that she hasn't had any contact with Mr. Munford since 2015.
Ms. Duhan, is that the reason why you haven't had any contact, or have you tried to have contact with him since 2015?
There's been contact over the phone, so that he was able to speak with his daughter. Now I did have to force her to call him because I was just tired of them always accusing me of holding her against her will from calling him or whatever they were saying. So I would make her call him. But it got to the point where she had to go to behavioral health. And
when did that happen? How long ago?
That happened in 2016. It was the year after we moved away. Now she was acting out of character because of what happened, the trauma that we went through. And I brought her to her doctor, and the doctor recommended that she go to the behavioral health. By law, he wasn't allowed to tell me exactly what they spoke about, but he said,
You can't, Ms. Duhan,
that-
you can't tell me what the doctors told you.
okay, I was telling her.
No, ma'am, you're telling me.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay. You don't need to
Miss-
apologize.
So
Ms.
what
Duhan.
can I tell you?
You can't tell me what the doctor told you, Ms. Duhan.
Okay.
Ms. Duhan,
See,
have you had any
Hold,
other?
hold on, Ms. Brownzito, because you're getting into a area that where these parties have no comprehension or how the courts work. Ms. Duhan, an underlying premise in the law in the United States is if you are going to make allegations against somebody, then that person will need to be here to tell me what those allegations are. So if some doctor told you something, then he needs to be here under oath so that me or Mr. Munford have the ability to ask him questions about that. You just can't throw stuff out there and then expect me to believe it without somebody having the right to do something called cross-examine the other witness, okay?
Okay, and I agree with that, but if I
There you
had
go.
further advance of this court date, I would have been able to get a hold of all of that. Now, y'all didn't send me any notification via
Y'all
email,
don't, Miss
anything.
Duhan, this is another thing that I have to correct people on, and I'm sorry that I have to do that. Y'all don't do anything. The Attorney General's office sends out notices of these hearings. I do not, okay? Ms. Duhan, do you wish to have this case postponed or continued so you can get your evidence together?
If that'll help me, better
I
off.
don't know if it's going to help you or not, Ms. Duhan. I'm asking you if you wish to do so.
Let's just continue, please. So
Okay,
I can
this
be
case
done
is
with
going to be
this.
continued, Ms. Brownzito. We're going to go off the record at this time, but do not leave my courtroom. We have some things that we need to talk about.
Halim, you took her money. Then you want to return her money when she call you and ask you about the money. This months after she had worked and got this job and got this check.
It's a really odd thing for something like that to almost kill a relationship because it's just money.
That was her money. You didn't go in her job and work with her. But then you want to say, oh, you a mother that you do this and you do that. Halim, you haven't done nothing. The last 2 years, you haven't sent no child support.
But Mr. Lovejoy, you are not a good co-parent.
If it was on the other foot around, and like I said, Miss McCallum, she's not providing nothing. She's not helping with nothing, Your Honor.
If you want child support, Mr. Lovejoy, just say you want child support.
She's not going.
Mr. Lovejoy,
No, it's not about.
Mr. Lovejoy, if you want child support, say it.
Yes, I want child support.